Letters of Swami Vivekananda, the new edition in 4 volumes. Letter number 235, addressed to Mrs. Sara C. Bull. Mrs. Sara Chapman Bull, 1850 to 1911, was the daughter of Mr. Joseph G. Thorpe, a rich lumberman and former state senator from Madison, Wisconsin, and the widow of the famous Norwegian violinist Mr. Ole Bull, 1810 to 1880. Swami Vivekananda addressed her as mother and gave her the name Dhira Mata. He was convinced that she has been chosen by the divine to help him in his mission on earth. In 1898, she, along with Miss Josephine MacLeod and Sister Nivedita, accompanied Swamiji in his Western India pilgrimages, including Kashmir. Vedanta Society, 54 West 33rd Street, New York, 21st March 1895. Dear Mrs. Bull, I received duly your kind note and was very glad to learn about you and Miss Thursby and Mrs. Adams. I am very glad that you met Mrs. Emily Lyon Conger. Footnote, Mrs. Emily Lyon Conger, 1861 to 1937, was the widowed daughter of Mrs. Emily Lyon and Mr. John B. Lyon of Chicago. She lived with her parents and her daughter Cornelia, 1887 to 1973, at 262 Michigan Avenue. They were Swamiji's hosts during the Parliament of Religions. Footnote ends. And Miss Mary Hale. They are some of my fastest friends in Chicago. I am astonished to hear the scandals the Ramabai Circle are indulging in about me. Among others, one item is that Mrs. Bagley of Detroit had to dismiss a servant girl on account of my bad character. Footnote, Mrs. Bagley wrote to Mrs. Arthur Smith from Lakewood, New York on 20th March 1895, refuting point blank the baseless charges. Let my first word be that all this about Swami Vivekananda is absolute falsehood from beginning to end. Nothing could be more false. We all enjoyed every day of the 6 weeks he spent with us. He was invited by the different clubs of gentlemen in Detroit, and dinners were given to him in beautiful homes so that greater numbers might meet him and talk with him and hear him talk as they could not from the platform. Everywhere and at all times he was, as he deserved to be, honored and respected. No one can know him without respecting his integrity, excellence of character, and his strong religious nature. At Annisquam, last summer I had a cottage and we wrote Vivekananda, who was in Boston, inviting him again to visit us there, which he did, remaining 3 weeks and not only conferring a favor upon us but a great pleasure, I am sure, to friends who had cottages near us. My servants I have had many years and they are all still with me. Some of them went with us to Annisquam. The others were at home. You can see how wholly without foundation are all these stories. Who this woman in Detroit is, of whom you speak, I do not know. I only know every word of her story is as untrue and false. That is Vivekananda, was not only honored by every attention that could be given to him while in Detroit, but the large public gatherings of distinguished and titled people of his own country who met in Bombay and Calcutta to honor him and to pass resolutions of thanks to him for his service in representing Hindu faith, as well as to send cordial greetings to him in America. We all know that is Vivekananda, who are they that speak so falsely? Affectionately yours, Francis E. N. Bagley. Mrs. Bagley's daughter Helen wrote on the following day, on the last page of her mother's letter given above. My dear Mrs. Smith, I am glad to know that the story was not circulated by Ramabai. If I find it possible, I wish to see Mrs. S. and ask her what her authority for such a statement was. I shall do it quietly, of course, but I am going to find out for once, if possible, who starts these lies about Mr. Kananda, that is Vivekananda. Perhaps these women will stop to think before they circulate a story so readily. If only they would investigate them to find how false they all are. Helen Bagley, daughter of Mrs. Bagley. Don't you see, Mrs. Bull, that however a man may conduct himself, there will always be persons who invent the blackest lies about him. At Chicago, I had such things every day against me, and these women are invariably the very Christian of Christians. Is it a wonder that the Hindus call them untouchables, and only a ceremonial bath can alone cleanse a person from touching one of these? The ancients were very right, I find every day. I am going to have a series of paid lectures. Footnote: on 24th March in the evening, Swamiji gave a lecture on India at his residence come the home of the Vedanta Society at 54 West 33rd Street, NYC. Footnote ends. In my rooms downstairs, which will seat about 100 persons, and that will cover the expenses. Footnote. As the classes continued on Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, mornings and evenings, more and more people poured into Swamiji's classes, about which Miss Waldo wrote. Long before, that is June, they had outgrown their small beginnings and had removed downstairs to occupy an entire parlor floor and extension. But though the classes were crowded, the collections or contributions were sometimes not large enough to pay expenses. The Swami gave his services free as air. The rent was paid by voluntary subscriptions, and when these were found insufficient, the Swami hired a hall and gave secular lectures on India and devoted the proceeds to the maintenance of the classes. He said that Hindu teachers of religion felt it to be their duty to support their classes and the students too, if they were unable to care for themselves, and the teachers would willingly make any sacrifice they possibly could to assist a needy disciple. See Reminiscences by Miss Waldo. Footnote completes. I am in no great hurry about the money to be sent to India. I will wait. Is Miss Farmer with you? Is Mrs. Peake at Chicago? Have you seen Josephine Locke? Miss Hamlin has been very kind to me and does all she can to help me. My master used to say that these names such as Hindu, Christian, etc. will stand as great bars to all brotherly feelings between man and man. We must try to break them down first. They have lost all their good powers and now only stand as baneful influences under whose black magic even the best of us behave like demons. Well, we will have to work hard and must succeed. That is why I desire so much to have a center. Organization has its faults, no doubt, but without that nothing can be done. And here, I am afraid, I will have to differ from you. That no one ever succeeded in keeping society in good humor and do great works. One must work as the dictate comes from within, and then, if it is right and good, society is bound to veer round, perhaps centuries after he is dead and gone. We must plunge in heart and soul and body into the work. And until we be ready to sacrifice everything else to one idea and to one alone, we never will see the light. Those that want to help mankind must take their pleasures and pains, and name and fame, and all sorts of interests, and make a bundle of them and throw them into the sea, and come to the Lord. This is what all the masters said and did. I went to Miss Anna Corbin's last Saturday, 16 March, and told her that I would not be able to come anymore. Footnote: Swamiji gave 4 classes on 17th Feb, 3rd, 10th March, and possibly on 16th March at the Conservatory of Austin Corbin's mansion at 425 5th Avenue, NYC. Footnote ends. Was it ever in the history of the world that any great work was done by the rich? It is the heart, the brain that do it ever, and not the purse. My idea and all my life with it, and to God for help, to none else. This is the only secret of success. I am sure you are one with me here. Ever yours in grateful affection, Vivekananda. Postscript: my love to Miss Thursday and Mrs. Adams. V. Om Tat Sat.